Alrighty then. Good morning, everyone. This is going to be a bit of an odd stream, and I hope I'm doing this correctly. We've not really done a sponsored stream like this before, but today I have what should be a fun stream. We've been planning this for a while. I was sent this in the mail. A very large box containing a giant tablet, screen tablet from Huion, and so they have sponsored today's stream. I'm going to be doing a review of this. I've used tablets in the past, though never a Huion. I've only ever used the Cintiqs, so this should be interesting. Here's my input device. Apparently we just push this around on the tablet and it's like an AI. It generates the content for us. Are you a little chat GPT? Olive, tell me a story. Tell me a story. Tell me a story about a puppy who didn't get any treats. No, you wanted to hop down. Now you can't hop back up. Okay, so what we're going to do today... First of all, Emerald Dragon for the 35 months. Thank you so much. And, yeah, loving the coffee emojis in chat. We need those. Yes, a horror story. Let's see. What we've got is an absolute blank canvas. I have nothing going on. Not yet. That's where you guys come in. So before we get started here, the warm-up is going to be a little bit probably of me just scribbling around to make sure I have the right brushes. And then writing, because writing is a great way to practice this whole new thing. The hardest thing in the world for me is going to break the habit of looking at the screen while I paint. I'm used to working on an Intuos, which, there's no screen. And now I have a screen to look at, which should be really fun. I've always really enjoyed drawing on screens. I have a hard time painting, and we'll see if we can get past that today. So, we've got a brush from the Kobold series of brushes that I made. So if we zoom in, it's got when you zoom really close, I think it has a nice pencil texture. But when you zoom out, it kind of fades into just this nice smooth textured line. So this is the one I'm going to be using today, and we're going to focus primarily on the drawing. We'll see where it goes. So yeah, let's see what happens. How's everybody doing on this frigid Wednesday morning? What is this eating up my chat? I don't know how to mod things. Oh well. We'll deal with that later. Let me see. Emma Kraken, Bard the Zombie, Issa, Clayton, Techno, hello everyone, Annie Noodle, Emerald Dragon, once again, thank you, Kelly Sparks. Thank you everyone. It's already above freezing. Excellent, excellent. All right. So you all are the first in the chat, and so you guys get to be, you get to decide the direction of this monster. So I want to design a character, and I don't care what it is. We've got about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're gonna see where it goes, just as far as we can make it. So where are the SMGs? Is this the new the new 4K 24-inch Huion? Yes. So it's the Pro. Where's the? How do I? No, that's not what you want to see. That's it. This is what they sent us. Sorry, I've still not gotten used to mirrored displays. Evil Rogue Marmot. All right. We'll keep the list. We'll keep the list so far right down here. Evil Rogue. Well, no. I mean, let's do it here. We'll just keep it all in lines. That's what we'll do. Okay. So Clayton with the first one is Marmot, Rogue. Uh-oh, I've already killed it. I clicked on one of the buttons on the pen. I think I disabled those. You have the Pro 16. That's awesome. Let's click over here and then back. Oh no, tell me I've killed Photoshop just like that. Ah. I promise I restarted it. We'll let it think for a little bit. And then we'll keep writing. I can keep the notes over here though. So we'll just keep generating this. I'm sure it'll come back at some point. Evil, rogue, marmot. Chaotic, good, frog, bard. Fox bard in there. Gorilla leopard. Oh, that's a strange one. Desert fox mage. With a palantir. Okay. Oh, I think we have killed Photoshop. Yeah, application not responding. Let's see if we just kill it and start over. Ah! Well, it saved this. So that's good. We've got a recovered file. Nice. What if it didn't like that brush? I promise it's a good one. All right, let's keep going. Round 2. Fight! Marmot. Rogue. Evil. And then, all right, we got Desert Fox. I gotta quit looking at the screen. I think that's why I'm crashing it. Because I'm looking at Photoshop on the screen instead of just looking right at this. The Huion here. So we got chaotic, but nothing more. And then, what do we have? A frog bard. I kind of like those two words together. Frog bard. Oh, bard should be here. That's what I'm doing wrong. What does this do? All right, bard and chaotic. Chaotic seems to be, we seem to be leaning towards chaotic, whatever we end up doing. Another perfect live stream. Otter Dragon Rogue. What's up? Otter Dragon. We'll write it down. Let's see. What else? I know I missed one in there. All right, so the gorilla leopard. I like writing like this. Oh, it feels so much more natural. You know, we're gonna start saving these. We'll just save it as something random. Warlock. There's a new one. I like it, Bard. Elusive. Oh, for build, I had thought like, you know, like the 3 categories of thin, medium, heavy. I guess I'll write that down. That's somehow more illegible. Let's see. Axolotl fighter. Oh, yeah. Well, that works better than the alcohol fighter. But okay, axolotl And Bard, I would love to see your version of an axolotl fighter. But does he fight axolotls, or is it an axolotl that fights, or both? It's interesting. Frog Bard is chaotic good. All right. Hey, Pictheus. Hey, Adriana. Okay. Otter Wizard. I almost did wizard with an E there. This is the bad thing about actually having to handwrite things. Oof. Thin, chaotic good. A lot of chaotic goods. I think that's just my chat, honestly. I think there's some kind of self-selection going on here that people who show up like chaotic good. Let's see, Octopus Paladin. Yeah. Can the Frog Bard be heavy? All right. And you're thinking this one out. I like that. I hope you do a version of this, whether or not we do it. I feel like you've got a vision of this thing in your head right now. Sloth Merchant. Don't expect your goods to get here fast, but and we'll say alchemy underneath. Our dog, Bucket Puppy, as a ranger. Adriano, it's slowly turning into that. Yeah, you're supposed to draw along. It didn't start out that way. But if people want to, I'll show it at the end of the stream. Well, remind me if anyone posts a version of whatever we do here today in the Let's Draw Monsters channel, I will share it. An octopus rogue would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be pretty good. All right. Okay. So we've got some fairly well thought out ones here. Boy, shift clicking for the straight lines, still tricky. There's a really cool thing. So speaking of the product that we're demoing here, they sent this cool little doodad. So you can put your keyboard shortcuts on this. The Intuos ones, they build it into the side, and I have to say that is ergonomically uncomfortable for me. So I've not yet programmed in hotkeys for this, but I already know what I'll be doing, and I think ergonomically this is going to be so much better, because having your hands like perfectly like this is difficult, I find, anyway, as far as the Cintiqs go, or even the Intuoses for using their shortcut little tablet side things. But it's like I need one arm slightly. I need, one arm this way, one arm this way. It just feels way more comfortable if your peripherals are like that. And this is how my hands. This is exactly how my hands are when I draw. Just right out in front of me. This is how I draw. And those are my fingers too, by the way. They're just forks. This is So I'm a professional artist by trade. Been doing this for 20 years. That is a perfect representation of a human being using a Kamvas 24-inch Pro and this peripheral doodad on the side. So that's how you use it. That's how professionals use it. Don't ask me anything else. We're going to delete that and move along. It is a cool little doodad. Any tips for sketching? My drawings feel flat. Use a variety of pencils and draw lightly at first and then progressively darker and darker as you go along. It helps with so many things, and we'll actually discuss a lot of that today while we're working on this. So I'm guessing this new tablet doesn't have buttons on the side. It does not. It has an on-off switch, and I believe that is it, which I prefer. Much prefer that approach. I do not like buttons on the actual device, and part of that is because I've always used. Ooh, will my cord stretch that far? I've always used just like simple thin keyboards, and just lightweight and simple to move around. Sorry. And so this is about as close as you can get to that, as far as like keeping a nice, clear, uncluttered desk space. Not that that happens. Hey, Anthony. Hope you're doing well. Some top tier advice there from Adriano and Duchamp. Okay. All right. What are we doing here? So we're gonna do votes. We're gonna let's flesh this out a little bit. The Marmot Rogue, Clayton. What's the Marmot Rogue? I'm assuming thin. Speak now. Otherwise, it's thin. Anything else that we want to add to these before we do some votes? Because I'm just going for it. A Frog Bard seems like a strong contender. Gorilla Leopard is actually, as a warlock, that's actually kind of fun. Axolotl Fighter, I don't know what its alignment is, and I need to know that. But I feel like we got some good ideas here, and I want to get started sketching. Okay, so anyone have anything else to add to your characters? All right, so the warlock is neutral. Pro streamer, and I know how to spell. Hawk Paladin. Ooh, that's actually really cool. I feel like I'll have a hard time not doing those bad guys. Well, the Hawk race, or whatever they were from Metroid. Who I do think were awesome. Okay. So I like the Marmot Rogue. It's really fun. Desert Fox, thin, chaotic evil. Like that. Maybe evil. We'll put a question mark there. Lawful neutral. I always spell neutral with a U. I've been in a fight to the death with autocorrect for about 20 years now. Marmot is chunky. I don't know how I would do a chunky marmot. I feel like you're just doing a gerbil at that point. We'll put him in there. Marmots are always chunky. All right. That's what we're going with it. Thus far, autocorrect is winning, but I'm not giving up. Defeat is not a refutation. Hawk should be heavy. All right.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Okay. So we're going to do a timer here. 3 minutes. And this is our... we're going to take votes. Everybody write it in the chat. What you want. You can just use the first name. Because I think there's no overlap. Other than Otter, Dragon, and Otter. So, yeah. Just the name of the animal. Drop it in the chat. I'm putting the votes down on the side. And we're going with whatever we got. Whatever we got here. So, all right, we got one for Hawk. And then I'll only vote if it's a tiebreaker situation. And this is Twitch draws, so I'm you guys are in charge here. Okay. Oh man, that's moving very fast. Okay, Hawk, Gorilla, Octopus, Marmot, Frog, octopus. Well, you guys are going to kill me with the octopus. That one's going to be tough. Legs all over. Oh no, where am I? Oh no, I've lost my place. Chat's moving too fast. Okay. Yes, yes, okay. Frog and frog. All right. So it's 2 more for frog. Sloth, fox. Okay. I have to pause chat. Otherwise, it'll get away from me. All right. Frog, frog. Fox. Hawk, octopus. Octopus and... another for sloth. All right. Octopus and frog are neck and neck. Okay. So 2 more minutes. Any other votes? Because the frog bard, who I think will be, probably, I sense that it would probably be in competition with the last one we did. We had a bard last time too, right? It was it was a druid. The ferret druid of the snail ale. And yeah, I wonder if they'd be friends or foes. A frogtopus. Oh man, there's more. You guys are still moving. All right, I'm slacking here. Frogtopus doesn't count, but I'm putting it down. It's in there. All right, we got 2 for frogtopus. It's starting the race late, but you never know. We don't want to rule them out. Octopus Rog. I'm not writing that one down. Once people start like a cormorant necromancer. Oh, that actually would. Cormorants have great necromancer faces. You're not wrong. Cormorant necromancer. We'll write that down. Give it 1 vote. Frogtopus gets another vote. It gets another. Frogtopus it's somehow it's catching up. But I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna make it. I mean, it's got 3 more to get, and man, I just don't know that it's gonna make it. Hey Eugene, hope you're doing well. Okay, that is time. Frogtopus loses narrowly to the frog bard. That said, I feel like Frogtopus needs like a couple little sketches. So we'll do some thin little sketches. And so for anyone who was asking earlier about drawing advice, we're going to go through the whole process right now. Move this off to the side. Oh, I do like being able to just move things around just on the screen. Drawing is so much easier on one of these. Okay, so what we're going to do is step 1, for anyone familiar with my method. Step 1. Drink coffee. That's number 1 most important thing. Step 2, draw your thumbnails first. And then step 3 will be to find reference. And it's important that we do it in that order. And then after we get reference and maybe do some studies, then we do the final drawing. So someone asking what the product is we're sponsored by today. It is the Kamvas 24. So the 24 Pro 4K. Special thanks to Huion for sponsoring the stream. Sending us this giant kit. It's just enormous. It's as big as the iMac. Comes with this cool little peripheral and nice standard pen. Feels good to work on. It's very sturdy. It's a heavy one, and it's got two little. I can't pick it up, but it's got two little pegs that fold out in the back for feet, so it's propped up at a nice angle. I was supposed to have pictures of it. I'll take pictures later, but it's at a nice angle, and I guess I could probably airdrop a picture of it so you guys can see what I'm. This is all right. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, let's see if I can airdrop that and then show it on stream. How do I do this? Technology. There it is, airdrop. Do it. Do it. Okay. And success. Where'd it go? Okay, there it is. All right, so you can see it's giant. Never mind my enormous mass of cables. Don't look at that, chat. That's an original, by the way, up there. Always looking down on me. So yeah, very big. No buttons anywhere on it. Very, very nice. Same size as the iMac. Giant. Right? Wish you didn't have to open this in preview. Okay. Yeah, so special thanks to Huion for sponsoring this stream. Let's do some sketching. Yeah, wave everyone in chat. Yeah, it's I should have gotten like actual links and all that stuff, but I just maybe we'll do that later. I'm more interested in just seeing if this is like something I could work into my process as something that stands in for drawing, because the honest truth is I do not like drawing on an Intuos. The feeling of detachment from the drawing that I get having to look at the screen and draw is frustrating because I love pencil drawing. That said, I really like painting with the Intuos, so I don't have any complaints there. But for drawing, I hate it. So I'm hoping that this would actually be something where when I have a drawing to do for a digital project, I'll use this. And who knows, maybe I assume painting would be nice as well. Let's see. What do we get? Frog Bard. All right, Frog Bard. Let's start drawing some. So let's see. We'll give him poofy sleeves, like that bard from The Witcher, maybe. And singing. And some kind of... What do you call these things back then? Because it wasn't a guitar. It was like a lute or a lyre or... whatever the... whatever those weird musical instruments were. And probably like really over-the-top tuning. The danger is now that I can actually draw, I want to erase and do like nice drawings, which I don't like to do with ink. And the idea of walking and playing at the same time seems kind of fun, so I think that's too much. It's throwing off the shape. Okay, so, really simple.
Bye-bye.
We assume bigger feet. Nice frog feet. And this is how I start all the drawings, is just a real simple skeleton. I actually like that pose. I know it's a mess, but this is a great way to start. Don't worry about getting precious about everything this early on. You're really just searching for shapes and personality. So here we are with the Frog Bard. Now, he was chaotic good. And so I'm not sure where the chaos would be in that we could show in the character. So now, you know, there's got to be some sense of it's a good character, but it probably gets itself and its friends into good-natured mischief and trouble. What that might be, I'm not sure. Is it a flask? Is it you know, what kind of thing would be in its pockets or attached that would give a sense of the trouble that it gets, that it causes and gets itself and its friends into? Possessed loot of chaos. Can he sing "Small Town Girl" by Journey? If he can't, then he's no bard that I'll hire. Oh man, the Frog Bard singing the tale of Frogocles and the Heron Hydra. That's exactly what this would be. Now, Frogtopus also needs a sketch. Also, let's do before we do that. Let's actually do a sitting version of our bard. And then we'll have to decide which we like more. Maybe one leg. Maybe he's sitting on a barrel or something. And he's got one leg down.
Thank you, bye-bye.
I guess the barrel could be dynamite. He just doesn't know, you know? I guess there's that. There's something really funny, too, about just him singing as loud as he can. I know that's... while sitting on top of this barrel. I do really like this barrel idea. Toss a coin to your Twitcher. That's really good. Okay. So I got maybe a little carried away with this guy. Let's scale him back. All right, we got 2 for the Frog Bard. Now, I mean, Frogtopus was just a mean-spirited attempt to make me look bad. But I'll play your game, you rogue. What would a Frogtopus look like? First of all, you guys, if those of you who voted Frogtopus, let's go. What's its role? Out with it. Come on. I can't work with nothing here. I need a story. What's the Frogtopus? We're going to do some sketches of the Frogtopus before we probably end up doing this guy sitting on the TNT. Monk. Card dealer. Elf. Who was the original? I don't know if I can go back this far. Let's see. Who originally said Frogtopus? Oh, Art Ex Parte saying, is so rich he has 2 iMacs. I do have 2 iMacs. One is broken. It doesn't work anymore, but I've daisy chained it as a display. So it's my old one that broke like 3 or 4 years ago. The graphic, if you actually use it to paint, it'll embed graphical errors into your image. So we had to get a different one. But I'm able to still use the screen, which is awesome. Come on, who said it first? All right, Adriano. It was Adriano who said it first, right? Frogtopus was Adriano's idea. So Adriano, if you're here, you've got to weigh in and tell me the rest of it. Although Keykeeper is really fun. Adriano, you first came up with the Frogtopus. So I need to know what are the rest of the things here. It's roll, build, alignment. I'm going to give it keys. No matter what. But, I mean, do you have anything else you want to add? It's going to be a key keeper, but what else? Whoever said that was great. Sock puppeteer. He'll never have the key to my heart. We'll see about that. Hypochondria. All right, Keykeeper is good. All right. All right, I think that's enough for me to get started on. All right, Frogtopus. I'm going to give him more of a monkish look. And maybe his even hands are in prayer-ish supplication, but his other hands are holding all the keys. All super complicated. So I think 4 limbs and would be doing something with keys. Likely his cloak would be all keys. There'd be just keys galore and key making equipment and all of that. And then the legs, I mean, I definitely want the long cloak. But then the legs are like octopus. This is the question, is octopus tentacle legs? I mean, I feel like that's like super weird and creepy. And what if his eyes are actually open? Hood, maybe? Oh. I know I'm kind of getting back to the one that I've done before. But I really... The eyes weren't like this in that one. I've done a lot of like frog necromancers, and it's really hard for me not to go full frog necromancer with these guys. But the idea of adding a like keymaster to the whole lineup is really cool. And one hand would be filing a key. Actually, I had it like in prayer and supplication and whatnot, but like, what if he's actually filing a key while walking? That's kind of fun. All right, so tentacle legs. I want to be a little bit thinner, maybe. Okay. All right. The frogtopus. Keymaster. Keeper is actually better than Master. We'll stick with Keeper. All right. There we go. So this is our original little thumbnail sketches. This is, I know this is really rough. It's not great, but I actually really think there's like a lot of crazy potential with this one. But he's going to be a bit like the librarian or the harbinger. What to do with his eyes will be tough. You can never go wrong with making him crazy frog eyes. All right, so it's going to be a frog. It's a frog stream. It's a frog stream today. The Key Wrangler. Yeah, is it a frog body with lots of frog legs or a frog body with octopus tentacles? We've gone with both, Ratsky. filing a divorce with the frog bard. Okay. All right. So now this is tough. So now which one to do? What time do we have? It's 11 o'clock. I only have an hour. So, oh man, the frog bard won. So we really need to do that one. This is going to get posted. Let's see if we can do both. Let's see if we can do... Yeah, let's start with the frog bard. And the walking one is fun, but the one sitting on an actual bomb is somehow more fun. So I think we're going to go with this. Yeah. All right. So, moving on, for those following along, trying to do the same kind of method, what we do now is I take the sketch that I'm going to be working from. And I'm going to blow it up a little bit bigger. This is the exact way I'll work no matter what medium I'm working in, by the way. So, if I was working in oil or watercolor or traditional pencil, it's always going to be the same method that I'm doing right here. We take the little one that we just did, and we blow it up larger. Lower the opacity down to just 15%-ish. Make a new layer, and then let's start drawing. And now we can either try and go right to a finished look, or we could do even another round where we've done this transfer, and we can draw it and see what we think, and possibly even do another round after this. Oh man, I do really like the feel of drawing here. And so our frog companion is serenading us all. We just don't realize that he's picked a barrel of dynamite to sit upon while singing. So when the rogues who are coming up to rob us while we're hanging out at the end of a day's adventuring, when the engagement actually kicks off, you're not sure how the barrel of explosives is going to play into the ensuing chaos, but you're pretty sure the directors and writers wouldn't have put it on the set if it wasn't going to blow up at some point. Now, as we go, I had mentioned earlier to the person asking, how do I make the drawings? And I can't remember if it was feel more dimensional or what, but the idea of drawing lightly at first and then slowly working towards darker and darker shading and lines is a nice way to give some interesting variety to the drawing. So slowly building up. I don't ever usually hatch, but I'm actually curious, like, how does it feel to do hatching with this? I suspect this is going to feel a lot nicer than it does on the Intuos. Part of the reason why I just never bother with any kind of hatching is just how weird and alien it feels to add this when working on an Intuos and your hand isn't really connected to the drawing like it is now, which I really like this. I feel like it is. It does feel really nice. But let's stay zoomed out. It is likely that what I'm going to do is draw this at the darkness that I'm drawing now, and then I will lighten the layer, lower the opacity, lighten the layer, and then redraw it a little darker in another layer to simulate that idea of switching from a, like, say, an HB or a 2H pencil to, say, a 5B or 4B pencil, something like that. Now I really should get some reference for this instrument. But someone had said, I think it was Lynn, that it's like an evil lute, a cursed lute of some sort. So let's play with that a little bit. What would that look like? Other than, you know, a skull, some kind of skull design here at the top. But that's, you know, it's a little subtle. It's not exactly on the nose, but it is there. All right, and for anyone joining us late today, this is a sponsored stream by Huion. Special thanks to them for sending us this Kamvas 24-inch tablet. We're trying it out today, writing a review for it, and just seeing how we like it. I am historically not a fan of screen tablets. So this is something new. I haven't really played around with one of these in a long time, and it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Oh, thanks, Effie. Have I tried painting on the iPad Pro? If so, does it compare? How does it compare to the Huion? So I have, and I think Procreate is pretty great. That said, I prefer working with all the with all my other like apps up, like Reference up, and if there's like job details that I need to have in front of me. I kind of just prefer the workspace of having a PC. And so I find that it's enjoyable to just sketch on an iPad for just kicks. But if I'm actually trying to get stuff done, man, I much prefer this. Now we're doing a little bit of carving here, which is something I would have a hard time getting away from. And that's a bit different than I would work with pencil, because I'm using an eraser here to carve out some of the shapes every now and then, which is something I do love about digital. And we'll be getting into something else I love about digital in just a minute, because I'll probably cut up the character a little bit and move things around.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Love working with these spindly little fingers, little frog hands. I gave this ruffle here, but I kind of like it. It's just in the way on the wrist. So if we put it at the elbow, I think it's more. It just makes the arm read a lot faster, and I think better. And a bit of one around the neck couldn't hurt. All right. Is your pencil set for opacity pen pressure? Yes. So I'm not sure if you can see this. Yeah, that's out there. Yeah. So this is where the pen pressure opacity is set to for the transfer. It's very dark. I think, lowering it probably wouldn't hurt. But I instead of doing that, what I'm probably going to do is just lower the final opacity and then redraw a little bit later. But for now, I think this is just fine. I want to give him fancy like boots, shoes, or some kind of fancy. I don't like these eyes, but I do like the horns. So some kind of like devilish face might actually be better. And then some kind of pattern work along the sides that would reinforce that evil liar concept. Something very gothic, busy, and overly patterned. Saying, I got this enchanted liar. Or I got this cursed liar. What could possibly go wrong? One thing I do need to get used to is having a lighter hand with it. That, or I could just lower the response in the actual graphic set in the tablet settings. Actually, let's see if we do that. What if that helps me at all? I kind of feel like it's going to slow me down a little bit, but let's try it. Okay, and the boots. I mean, it's tough because, frog feet would be interesting. Maybe I'll decide on the boots after we do this leg. I just feel like some kind of... let's try the boots and then see what happens. This one will be the easiest one to do. You're just, you're not sure how he would fit his entire foot into there, but that doesn't matter. It's the shape that's the most important thing. do like oh man, I like erasing a lot more with this than I do on the normal tablet. I feel like the feet crossing over is either going to create a horrible tangent or it's going to be perfect. And if this is like a rib cage, that's kind of creepy. The tablet does not heat up much, which is nice. That's something I remember about working on tablets previously, was that sometimes they could get just really hot, which wasn't the end of the world, but it was, it just made the experience less comfortable. I also am using one of these things. I don't know. One of these like little foam wrist pad things that just help reduce strain. Makes carpal tunnel a little less likely and reduces strain on your wrists and arms while working. And that helps. Man, drawing any kind of geometric shape like this barrel on the normal Intuoses is a nightmare for me. And drawing it here is way easier.
Thank you for following.
All right, so we've got our the fuse. Again, hopefully a little bit of foreshadowing there for whoever's in charge of this film to use. And I don't think I need to write TNT on there. I think the audience gets it without any, extra effort on our part to really sell that. I think the fuse, probably most people would get that.
Thank you for following.
Hey, Clayton, thank you so much for the 34 months. Thank you. Okay. One thing we can do now, this is our original sketch. We can look at it again, kind of get a sense for how much crazier that mouth was, and see if maybe we should have taken it a little bit further. I do think we need to, just a bit. It's a lot more exaggerated. But I feel like this guy really belting out whatever his little ballad is here that he's going on with probably is pretty cool.
you, Baba.
The idea of giving him a hat would be interesting. I feel like it would certainly add some color, a splash of color if we needed that. I don't know if we need it or not. Just add a little more information here. No need to get like overly fussy or detailed, but just something to show there's information there. Now, we just showed that other drawing, our original drawing a second ago. It's about time to turn that off. And this will be a little bit cleaner after it's off, but we will, you know, we'll want to take this even further. Not that, this, there we go. Okay, so we got, it's 11:20. I've got a half hour, and I am going to go through the Discord, the Let's Draw Monsters thing. So if anybody does show up with a frogtopus or a frog bard, I will share it on stream, and we'll do a wrap up in about 20 minutes. But let's add another layer. After we add these shadows here, let's add another layer and see if we can't deepen the values just a little bit to give it some more subtlety and nuance and depth. Maybe this guy isn't quite perfect either, so, you know, he's got some stitching, some patches here and there. He's got his sort of dandy little outfit on and everything, but he's he's probably seen, he's chaotic. So there's going to be, you have to add a little bit of history to that chaos, that, you know, he's not wearing perfectly new clothes that are untarnished by any life adventures. He's probably got some stains, some rips, some tears. He's probably been thrown into a hedge a couple times. Had to run through thorns to escape, and, you know, some angry peasants. The idea of raising this eye line just a little bit so that he really is just probably oblivious to any danger going on. I kind of like that. Whether or not to turn this anymore is a question. I'm not going to. Okay, we're going to lighten this just a little bit and then make another layer, and we're going to redraw some of the outlines, and this is going to make a lot of this pop out a lot more. Okay, my goodness, I have ignored chat for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. Let me see if I missed anything. That frog will be a Fanstratics unit or another object. This is just purely for Huion, actually. And he plans to bring LDM back. Is it done or on temporary hiatus? Temporary hiatus, Effie. The temporary has sprawled out to be a lot longer than we anticipated because Annie and I both just fell so far behind on client work, and so we're just still in a lot of trouble. But yes, Let's Draw Monsters. The new series is coming. I'm sorry we haven't been able to get started on it. I'm very excited about the next one, which will look a little bit like what we're doing today. But yeah, someday. Are you going to give the tablet another go outside of this stream today? Yes, Monketic. We will definitely be using this off and on for a while. But this is the only one that we'll call a sponsored stream that we're doing specifically for Huion. Let me see. Is this a barred frog? Yes. Maybe a little pile of powder below the fuse. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. If somebody mentioned something or to me or asked a question and I missed it, please at me in the chat. I'm working with new tools here a little bit, and so I'm sorry I'm tunnel visioning in a little bit on some of this. And so if I missed anything, please just at me, and I promise I'll respond. But we're moving along here. And I like what we're coming up with.
Thank you, Baba.
I do really enjoy how much faster this moves for drawing. And it's a lot more controllable. The right boot is double the size of his left. You are correct. Yeah, I need to fix that. It's true. Yeah, frogs do have giant thighs. It is absolutely true. What am I doing wrong here? Do I have something selected? No. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully it's still a bit long, but I think it's okay. Hat could be on the ground to collect coins. Yeah, what kind of hat would be the question? I think it would be some kind of tri-cornered hat. But how to make that read upside down? And then the question is it better over here? No, it is better here. And actually the shape of the overall drawing probably functions better if it's here. But adding some kind of feather or something wouldn't hurt. Just to show it is a bit foppish. All right, and then I'm adding some deeper shadows here. Going to try and make a lot of the forms read a lot more dimensionally through these shadows. Okay. Now, I don't think we're going to get to any kind of color today, but man, this would be fun to actually color at some point. I'm not sure what I'm more excited about though, coloring this or doing a version of the Frogtopus Keymaster. I know it's treading on old ground, and so it's probably not a great it's not the right choice because it is kind of close to the Harbinger and the Librarian, but it fits in the series so well that it'd be kind of a fun one to do.
Thank you, Baba.
And now that we've done this outline, I'm going to start shading. And this is something I've been looking forward to trying. I don't ever pencil shade on a tablet. Just never. And a lot of that is just, again, that weird feeling of distance from the drawing and my hand. The fact that I'm not looking at the pencil while drawing, I'm looking at the screen, feels so weird. So working on a monitor tablet does make doing this just a lot nicer.
Thank you, Baba.
Ooh, okay. I have to step away for 1 second. I'm going to play the music. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the door really fast.
Thank you, Baba.
Okay, we're back. We're fine. We're fine. Okay, I know there were some other questions in there. Let me get to it because we're getting to a really good point where we're almost wrapped up with this one. One boot could be ripped open with the frog's toes going through. Oh, that's kind of a cool idea too. No, Duchamp. In your painting process, do you go in with the mindset of not being afraid to fail because your paintings are detailed, and I feel like that is a way of messing up the piece, but you make it work. So I guess my question is, would your art level be the result of trial and error? Oh, Tagnan, 100% the result of trial and error. The one thing I will say, though, is a lot of people, once they've kind of started working on they've figured out a method that they like, and they've started working on it, they might do a thing, and I did this too early on, where if they ever mess up, they quit and start over. So like, I did my painting, I did my underpainting, I started to add color. It doesn't look right. You know what? I don't think I should use this color in the future. I'm just going to scrap this painting and start over. All right, I've done the same thing. All right, I've added that color, this new color. I still don't like it. I'm going to start over. Now, by doing that, you're probably going to get very good at drawings and underpaintings, and then you'll never really get to the point where your ideas about final detailing are tested. And this is, I think, a problem because you never learn the tricks that can save you. There's all kinds of little tricks and techniques you can use. There's rules you can follow to evaluate problems and solve them. But there's all kinds of things you can do at the end of a painting to pull yourself out of a nosedive. There's some things that you'll never be able to cover up. There's some compositional errors and proportional errors that may not be solvable. It's true. And those are situations where it might just be better to start over, cut your losses, start on something new rather than trying to save the cake. At the same time, though, there's a lot to be said for just going for it and try and finish the painting. Even if it's going to be a terrible failure, try and finish it because it'll give you practice with those final problem-solving stages. Because the last 10% of any painting is mostly problem-solving. And it's a lot of problem-solving, where you're just trying to figure out what's wrong with this. And until you figure it out, you're never going to have that like nice finished look to the painting that you're after. So I think, yes, this is not an exact science. There's no perfect, flawless method that works every time and doesn't involve any kind of trial and error. Like, we're humans, we're imperfect machines. And there's always going to be problems and errors, and getting used to fixing them in the end, once you get there, is very, very important. So, yeah, I would say that it's a major thing. That trial and error over and over and over again. And even when you know a painting is a failure, it might be worth it to just finish a small section to, like, prove that the rest of your method works. Even when you know, all right, I'm never going to be doing this particular part of my method again. Try and finish some of it so that you can learn how to pull yourself out of a nosedive. Because even in a perfect circumstance where everything has gone your way, you're still going to have times where things go absolutely, they could absolutely be improved by that kind of critical evaluation at the end. So even when everything goes right, it's still very important to have all of that. And so, yeah, I would say that, like, I'm not thinking that much about failure or worrying at all about it. Of course, I know I'm probably going to fail. But there's also a lot of excitement of maybe this one will work really good. Maybe this will be the thing that, like, finally my career takes off because of this painting, you know. And that, I think, for most of us, that does kind of pull you through a lot of the painting process. Just that excitement of what's going to be on the other side of this. Of course, it's always a failure. But, I mean, it doesn't keep you from trying. Because what if? Because, obviously, I'm going to suggest that you do pretty rigorous post-mortems after you finish a painting and it fails. You got to look at it and figure out what went wrong here. What did I do that was so wrong that ruined this? One thing I'm noticing is that the tablet screen is fairly low contrast, and my monitor, I think, is much higher contrast. I'll be curious. I'm going to send this to my phone later on and see which is right. I suspect this is probably more accurate to print than my monitor is, which would be would be beneficial, that you would have a better sense of how it's going to be reproduced. Most of my images are a bit on the dark side, and that probably is because my eyes are bad, and I just ramp up the brightness pretty heavily on the monitor to compensate for that, which results in darker images overall when you go to print. Anyway, good question, Tagnan. So a ripped open boot was an interesting idea. Speaking of boots, surprise film of the year is the Puss in Boots film. I actually worked on... Oh my goodness. What's happening? Hey, Third Mask! Thank you so much, Third Mask. Very kind of you. Hope you guys had a good stream. Welcome aboard. We're doing a sponsored stream for Huion, demoing their Kamvas 24-inch Pro tablet. I was just mentioning that surprise of the year for me, film-wise, was the new Puss in Boots film. I actually worked on licensing for the first one a billion years ago. So I had fairly fixed thoughts about the series, and Shrek in general, and all of it. I had, I kind of worked with it. This was almost like a decade ago, maybe longer, and I also have a fairly harsh opinion of reboots and remakes and sequels that feel like soulless cash grabs. And so I was not expecting anything out of it. And I have to say, it was probably the most one of the most delightful animated films I've seen. I don't know, maybe since Mitchell's versus the Machines, which I also thought was delightful. This one had a lot of the same vibe. Maybe not as daring with some of the animation stuff as Mitchell's versus the Machines, but nonetheless very inventive and interesting and fun animation, and the story was just so nice. It was it did all the things, It made you laugh, made you cry, told a good story. I was very impressed. So anyway, talking about Boots, if you haven't watched it already, I think the new Puss in Boots is actually really good. And it's been a long time since we've had a villain I thought was good in a lot of these films. And oh my goodness, they had a honestly, like, villain of the year. Villain of the year. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Goes to the Lobo from Puss in Boots. Death. I should do another Justin Gerard roasts Justin Gerard. Yeah, we should actually, because there's been a couple that I've that didn't turn out how I wanted. It's difficult for me when I'm so close to it to share that publicly with everyone. When I've had some distance to really consider why something failed, I'm a little more sure, particularly after I know I've addressed the issue. The terror is when you know you failed, but you're not sure that you wouldn't fail again. Then it's like doing that publicly. Ooh, that's tough. But I do think it's a healthy thing.
Think about buying.
And I think, it's a good community learning thing too. I always felt like I learned a lot from when my heroes would talk about why they why they felt a particular piece of theirs didn't work, even when I felt it did. I always felt that was an interesting conversation. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Let's zoom back in. The Huion I'm using, Dan Rob, is the 24-inch Pro. The Kamvas 4K Pro. Oh, so you've got the 24 4K, and it's your highest contrast screen. Mine feels low, and I don't know if it's because I haven't adjusted it. I've opened the Huion thing before the stream. I opened up the Huion thing, and to do like a screen calibration, and it just did the spinny wheel thing, and I feel like it's wanting me to restart the system to fully do that. So I have not yet gone through and actually tried to calibrate it. Likely when I do, I'll ruin it as well. Hey, guys. Hello from Georgia. I do not have it. Well, I do have a YouTube channel. It's all private, though, unless you're on the Patreon. One day I will make it public, but I got to go through and edit all the videos and, put in, like, they need cleaned up. They're a real mess because they're just like the grabs from the Twitch streams. I'm just, like, using it as a repository for the old Twitch streams, but I need to actually clean them up. Yeah, and McCracken, it was so good. A lot of Doré vibes. Oh, Issa, that's music to my ears. Doré's he's an absolute hero. So we'll add a little more of this dimensionality, and then I think we'll have wrapped it up. Yeah, I totally agree. I love what the hatching can do here, which is not something I'm used to. I never enjoy hatching or this kind of shading outside of traditional drawing. So it is really nice how natural it feels. Because that's a stark difference from the Intuoses, where this is a nightmare for me doing this kind of thing. All right, let's deepen this shadow before we call it a day.
Thank you, Bye-bye.
Oh, this is... I don't know why I got this cut off. There. Gotta do some shading on the hat. We can't just leave it. It's still not looking like a three-corner hat. I wonder if it's just this ludicrous brim that I've put here. I could also make it striped, and that might make it read a little better as well. Possibly make it a little more, the top a little bit taller. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And just a handful of coins. That kind of looks like a button, not a coin. Okay. That's much better. Much better. I like that a lot more. Ooh, man, the hatching, it does add a lot dimensionally compared to my other drawings, which I don't feel like digitally, I never get to this kind of more 3D-ish shadows. So I do like that. Okay, let's add the bottom here. And now the question of whether or not we will add color to this, that's a good one. It's possible we come back next time and add color. But overall, I feel pretty good about this. And I feel like we could probably call this good. Make sure this toe reads as a toe a little bit more. I think I've got this ruined shoe a little bit wrong. There we go. I feel like that's going to read better. I haven't used any white yet, like switching to white to draw. That would be the thing I would want to try next. Truly carving in the shapes then. Always nice to go around adding some highlights in white. Normally I would be using an eraser for this. but it is nice. It gives it like a clean, finished look as well. All right. There we go. So there's our character, the Frog Bard. Did I use a smudge tool? I did actually here. I kind of accidentally switched to it, and I was like, I kind of like that. So I'm not sure if I would use it much more because I definitely prefer the drawing, just using the point to draw. But when I normally draw, there's always a little bit of smudging, and so seeing it without any whatsoever just feels unnatural to me. So this feels a lot better. Let me see. Did I miss anything else? Feeling any delay when doing quick multiple strokes? I am not. Let's zoom in though and actually like really think about it. So we're at 100% right now. And you know what? If I could change anything on my screen, I'm seeing the cursor, right? You're seeing the cursor right there too. So when I make that movement, that cursor's bouncing all over the place, and honestly, I don't need it. And so I imagine there's a way for me to turn that off, like to just get rid of the cursor after I've painted. But kind of what I wish would happen is like once you put it down once, it's gone. And then it won't come back for a few seconds or something. That would actually be kind of cool because I do find that distracting. And I don't like it. I don't know. Anyone else using a Huion here know if you can just get rid of the cursor when you're painting? Obviously, I want the cursor when I'm actually going to navigate to something else. But to your question, no, I'm not detecting much in the way of delay. Now, I've not used any like really big brushes. And so delay that I was feeling previously when I was using like Cintiqs and all that tended to be when I was using larger brushes for painting. I guess we could try and like just move this one up and see what it does. Oh no, there's like very little. It's actually really nice. No, that's like right on. It's very, very nice. Actually, we could do some shading with this while we're here. Yeah, very little. Not noticeable enough to make me to elicit any complaints, I would say. This would not be something I would write in about. No, I like it. And I imagine once we get into color, it won't be too different either. Let's go ahead and obscure. Let's do some shape welding really quick where we make this shadow kind of fade into the shadow on the ground. Always nice for getting a little more realism. Okay, yeah. I can't see any delay on there, so that feels really nice. Yeah, Grundalug, exactly. It's a dangerous time sink. Does it have a flip horizontal button? Do you have a flip horizontal button, Clayton? Because if there is one... we can't flip it horizontal, Clayton. There's text on the screen. Just imagine the confusion. It's not because there's probably errors in the proportion that would mortify me if I saw them. That has nothing to do with it. It's everything to do with the chat and how confusing it would be to have backwards text on the screen. I don't want to do that. Okay. Right. That's exactly it. Okay, it's 12 noon. So we've had a good stream here. Man, the questions. We may come back and do a color version of this at some point. Since I do have to post as part of the review, I got to post something. So we might finish this in color just to see what's it like to go start to finish on a Huion.
Thanks, Bubba.
The other question is whether or not to do the Frogtopus Keykeeper as a monster of the month this month. I mean, I just really like that character. And it's the kind of thing that would be a lot of fun. So, I don't know, this might be a separate little Patreon reward. I think the Keykeeper is pretty great. So, let's before we go, I am going to check the Let's Draw Monsters thing just to see if we had anyone. We did. So, Annie Noodle with her Froggy Bard looking nice. Look at that. I like this cloak. Love the buttons. And, you know, the musical instrument is is its own face. Thump, 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 thump. Yeah, that's great. So, anyway, go give Annie Noodle some love on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, !Discord for a link to that. And check out the Let's Draw Monsters channel. I can't draw very well, but I wanted to know where did you learn to make the list of design options you have, or do I have any books? It's just sketching. It's just filling out sketchbook after sketchbook after sketchbook. I had one here a minute ago. What did I do with it? I might have thrown it away in a rage. That happens. Oh no, here it is. But just keep a sketchbook. And I don't know if, where is it? Yeah, keep a sketchbook. And this is just like when I'm sitting watching a show with Annie at the end of the day, I'll just be drawing little sketches. This is the best thing you can do. It's just when you're idle, just draw. Do lots of drawing. If you want like technical tips and everything, Andrew Loomis is really good. I'm a big fan of Harold Speed. So Harold Speed and Andrew Loomis. Any of their books, they're just great. Really old school stuff, like 100 years old. Back when people, when drawing was still like a kind of a prized aspect of the illustration world. Yes, and Loomis, I think Loomis is Oomis. Is that right, chat? I think Loomis is Loomis. Here we go, boomer rant. Okay, that's going to be it for today, folks. We're going to try and be back next Wednesday. Probably another Huion stream. And maybe we'll... I might do some like off-screen adjustments, mirroring Clayton, and yeah, we might come back and do a color version of this at some point, and then be on the lookout for a possible Frogtopus Keykeeper. So, yeah, and also Blue Snow. If you are looking for that kind of thing, check out the Discord because we've got a couple resource pages on there. That you might actually find really helpful. So, I normally do a raid. I'm not going to because this is a sponsored stream and I don't know the rules around any of that. So I'm just going to end the stream here. Thank you, everybody. If you would like any of the brushes that we used today, they're available on our Patreon, !Patreon for that. Or there's links down below to buy them directly. I was using the Kobold set. I don't know what that is, but I think it's year 2 of the Monster of the Month series. So we used the Kobold brushes. So once again, thank you, everybody. We love you. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.